EzProfits Revisited Part 2. Still trending as a scam from my point of view.
Now, and why communication matters more than ever at this stage. So first, I do want to be fair and factual here. My commissions are clearing correctly.
I find this laughable. My commissions are clearing the way they're supposed to be. I have $300 that have cleared, and I guess it cleared the way it's supposed to be. I don't want to get into. I'm going to bring this all up at the end because this is, most likely a scam. So I'm going to bring this all up at the end. Anyway, she's got $21,000. She's been promoting this to a lot of people. I didn't promote this to anybody. And I did spend $50 on traffic. And she also calls this a case study. I don't know why anyone would call it a case study and then get ripped off. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, I want you to listen to this a little more.
Timer works exactly as they said it would. So if you come over here to commissions and you scroll all the way down. Now remember, you don't see all of my commissions because there's several days missing. Because they only show 250 rows. So every time I get a new commission, another one pops off of the rows. But you can see where my first two commissions, the reading the story and the other frequent, those are still there and they're showing cleared. So that's what happens when the 30 days is up. They will turn green and they will say cleared. And then it will be showing in this cash out section under ready to withdraw. And when that hits 500, there's supposed to be a button there that allows you to click withdraw. They made an announcement yesterday about this identity verification is required. So that's where everything is kind of come to a halt. So I do want to stay grounded. At the same time, there's definitely some concerns as to why they're not communicating. That's my biggest issue, to be honest.
Okay, I want to just maybe stop it altogether right here. I hate how they keep using this word communication. They haven't been communicating at all. As I pointed this out in my first video, back when this started and I joined this thing, there was under 6,000 people in this thing. There's over 18,000 today. But this was actually not in Telegram at the time. It was in WhatsApp, the group. And back in the group at WhatsApp, we were so small that we would sit in there like a chat room. Like if it was 1995 in a Yahoo chat room. And we would talk all day long about the success we had and how the traffic was converting. And my point is, we were actually communicating. And Mike, the guy who supposedly owns the company, whose real name is probably Bobby Joe or something like that, let's just be honest, he was in there talking with us. And then what would happen when he would go to bed, he would close the chat down for the night, which I always thought was really weird, because then he started talking about moderators, finding moderators, which he never got any moderators. I pointed this out, and so chat never opened back up. And then next thing you know, he was feeding this line of BS about we had grown so big that we couldn't all fit on WhatsApp anymore, so we had to rebuild everything into Telegram. But the thing is, we've never had a chat room in Telegram. In other words, chat never started back up. Us guys, the original guys in on the ground, me, okay, we remember back when there was an actual chat room and we were talking. And the other thing that was really weird about this was originally supposed to be an exclusive small group of people. And like I said, it grew to 18,000. That's not a small group. So when I hear them keep saying over and over and over, they're really concerning that there's no communication. There hasn't been no communication, as in ever. Not since they quit doing chat rooms, which was damn near right out of the gate. That's my point. There's not been, sending fucking one-way messages that say things like, do your verification and then you can get paid. That's not really communicating a whole lot. Matter of fact, I would say it's not communicating at all. We don't need to keep hearing this crap, right? I think it's a scam. That was the whole point of the first video. Now, I'm not going to be terribly mad because I only spent $50, and in all honesty, I never had to spend anything. But this is most likely a scam, and and I've been a part of a scam before online. So I'll tell you how it. There's usually only like two ways this plays out, and both of them end badly. Okay, there's the scammer that cares, and okay, he's the guy that he creates a Ponzi scheme, but it turns into a Ponzi scheme. Okay, he cares about paying people. So what happens is he can't pay everyone, and he'll approach his top affiliates, his top recruiters. And he'll give them top recruiters like, hey, man, if you can get an extra 600 people a week, I'll give you, another 10% extra profit or some deal, right? And there's always a mathematical number to this, is my point. And so what will happen is these guys are on board. They'll do it. They'll keep dragging people in to this. He'll keep making money, and by doing so, he's able to pay people. What happens though, long run on these, the big picture, if you will, recruitment always drops out. And anything that's MLM based, it always drops out, right? Eventually, that 1,000 people a week drops to 600, 500, 4, 3. The number becomes so low that it actually just collapses the entire system. And then a rug pull happens. One day, the internet, the website it's gone. It ceases to exist. Now, I tell you the first story because that's the guy who cares. He cares, but instead of just stopping, he thinks he can correct the problem. The problem in his mind is so simple. If I can just get another 1,000 people, I can pay people. And then if I can get 2,000 after that, I can pay more people. And then 6,000 after that, I can pay more. Until the recruit just dries up. Once again, Ponzi schemes rely on what I call new blood to feed the old blood, like me, old blood. And when the new blood dries up, it's over. It collapses. Okay, you got the other guy who, from day one, intentionally was going to rip you off. He has no intention in ever paying you. He created a system that was completely designed to rip you off. And it doesn't matter how nice you talk or, I want to stay grounded. I want to stay grounded. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. They intended to rip you off from the start. Which, once again, is why I said a big red flag was when out of the clear blue he asked for your verification. That's a big red flag. Big, big red flag. Most well thought out systems have verification requests right out the gate. It's up front. It's not in order for me to pay you, I have to have your social security number. Okay? That's not how good companies work. That's just not how it works 99% of the time, right? It's not how it works. So, I don't know. This lady, I think, is just way, way crazy when it comes to this stuff. Uh, and at the same time, if she gets paid good, that means I'll probably get paid too. But and everybody. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times, this is a Ponzi scheme. They're there to rip you off. Oh yeah, she even gets to the point. Let's let this play for a second, see if we figure this out.
So what happens is when you come over here and you hit verify identity, when you try and upload your documents, you get a server connection issue, and it's not submitting this step. Therefore, you can't move on without getting an error. And because you can't verify, you don't have a withdrawal button anymore. So now we're seeing real issues hit, though. And that's part of why I'm documenting every step of this. You know, they rolled this out yesterday, mandatory verification, which the verification itself is not concerning. The fact they started it the week of when people are able to withdraw is what is concerning. It's like they're playing catch up. So, you know, I've explained before, affiliate platforms require you to verify or submit a tax document, etc. So, like, that part of it is actually normal. The lack of communication, though, it's driving me insane. So, I mean, the site is functioning, but then the hiccups and the lack of letting us know what's going on is...
See, I wouldn't... Once again, I just think this is being overly naive, to be honest with you. Look, I told my buddy, the one who got me involved in this, I told him, matter of fact, I even told Mike, the guy who owns the company, a few days ago. She's saying, like, the site's up and functioning well. Let me tell you, a few days ago, I typed in the site, and the domain, I'm just going by what my computer told me for my end, the domain was being up for sale. Up for sale. I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense that everything's okay. It's not okay. Most people who are doing internet marketing, unless you're doing like the traditional MLM sort of affiliate marketing type crap, most of you are selling products through like ClickBank, Warrior Plus, things like that. These are affiliate marketplaces. And they will ask you for your identification because they're the ones paying you your commission. Well, you know what I'm saying? The seller pays them and then they pay you. They're the middleman, if you will. But they bring the products to light by using their ginormous marketplace. Like an online Walmart, if you will. That actually makes sense, but it's all up front. What was always from the very first day, which is why I made that second video, very, very troubling, was that the moment people started to withdraw money or hit the withdrawal button, literally they bust their ass within 2 days. The very next day, they're like, hey, you need to give us your identity for us to process your money. That was highly suspect. That had scam written all over it. It's going to, like I said, if this turns out to be bad guy number one, always intended to scam you, right? You can figure it out. Let me just say one more thing, too. It would have been impossible now that this is over 18,000 people big. It would be impossible for him to pay us out if this was a scam. If this ends up being a scam, based off his traffic sales, because he could sell traffic and make money, yeah, but it would have been impossible to have paid 18,000 people money from the traffic bot. There's just not enough money being made off traffic. At some point, he would be losing money, and it's not hard to figure that out. Had he capped it like he originally said he was going to cap it and make this an exclusive small group, possibly we wouldn't be going through this. But like I said, that's a whole nother conversation, because this seems like it's probably a scam. Let's let her talk a little more, and then let's get the hell out of here.
It's just getting annoying. So, we've entered the situation where, commissions are clearing and the site is functioning. The site, you can get on there, you can buy. But the problem is like, hey, are you going to address the issue of the verification?
Once again, commissions are clearing on a computer screen in which the guy behind the scene, Mike, who developed the website or the app, can digitally from his end, his back office, constantly make up the numbers. Constantly make the numbers up. Oh, little Johnny's got $40,000. Oh, little Susie just made another 1,000. Right? It's eye candy. It makes people, it creates an illusion, is my point. It makes people think that something's better than it actually is. There's no guarantee. Here's what I know to be fact. Not a single person has gotten paid their money. No one. And there's not many people making content about EzProfits. And everyone who is making EzProfits, including this lady, I know them either in person or by watching their videos. There's the number is less than 10, guys. And I'm on TikTok and everywhere. This isn't being talked about. I mean, yeah, that guy could be, not only could be, but probably is manipulating all the data from his end. And it's become easy. In the age of AI, it's become very easy to do. Let's let her ramble some more.
So, honestly, I think the lack of communication right now is my biggest problem. It isn't even that this form is broke, because this is probably most likely, because I know you guys can see right here, let me...
Macy's is too nice to say no. So when someone asked to be hand-tossed like our pizza dough, we said, yeah.
Right here, let me... If we were able to upload documents, then we'd have to take a selfie, and then you'd have a verification fee. I know people are like hung up on that verification fee, but that's not out of the ordinary either. JV Zoo requires this. I had to do this with JV Zoo, and I had to pay like a $5 fee.
Yeah. Once again, as I've already said, JV Zoo, Warrior Plus, ClickBank are affiliate marketplaces. That's what they are. They're affiliate marketplaces. They're not one-off MLM websites like this. They're affiliate marketplaces. They have hundreds of products listed on them. That's why you do that. It's also been around for like 20 freaking years. It's got a high reputation, at least of being legit. Doesn't mean everyone likes it. Come on, man. What the hell? Anyway, you get the point. It drives me nuts to hear this lady talk. Oh yeah, I was going to say this. She keeps saying over and over, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Well, look, you're not going to be feeling that way come next week when no one else has gotten paid still. Because next Thursday, next Friday will be 2 weeks since money was clearing. And it'll be the same song again. Not a single person in the system will have been paid. It's impossible because, once again, that's not how money moves. 3 to 5 business days is how money moves, not 2 weeks later.
In order to process it, because it's a third party who is processing it. So if they do have a third party and everybody went to the site, tried to verify at the same time, that could have broke it, or it could have been broken because it was programmed wrong. But they need to let us know that and say, hey guys, the verification provider is overloaded, or hey guys, we have a bug and we're going to get it fixed. Hey guys, you can expect this to be fixed in 24 hours.
Once again, that's all nice, hunky-dory if the person's trying to be honest. But if this is what it appears to be now officially, which is a scam, then they were never going to do that anyway. They never intended to, because it was a scam from day one. And more to the point, because she somewhere, either in the comment box or in this video, brings that up. What the hell did she say? I forget what she said. But anyway, if that's, once again, if they're actually honest, okay, then it right, okay, whatever. They may have actually bugged it or didn't have a bug issue on the coding site or whatever. But I doubt it's that. Like I said, this is a scam, most likely. I mean, PayPal is a payment processor that's been around forever. I used to use them when I used to drop ship on eBay. And you obviously do verification through PayPal. But this isn't a PayPal issue. Your money isn't being held up because of PayPal. It's not being held up because of Wise or whatever it's called. And there's another one. I forget what the hell it's called. Those people get paid to have their shit together. Like Visa and MasterCard. The money ain't being held up because of them. The only thing it could be held up for is because of this website that we're looking at on her screen.
Like, they need to send that out on the Telegram or an email to us. That would calm people down significantly. Instead, silence is like the worst enemy. That's never good for confidence. And I get that.
Like I said before, and I'll say it again, because we're already almost 24 minutes into this. They should be talking. That may be true. However, we haven't had an actual chat room since the early days of this group being formed, in which we are in there chatting together, including Mike himself. That's the problem. There's not been any communication at all, except the random shit like, oh, for you to get paid, you're going to have to do an identification verification. Oh, there's a 20% discount on traffic today. That's not communicating, man. That's terrible. The chat room is where it's at. They should have never taken the chat room away. That's all done for a reason, right? Because it's a scam.
But that's why I'm doing the case study and why I've always recommended that people be cautious and not upgrade. Don't spend all your money on traffic. Do the free. Test the waters, but do not do any upgrades. Do not buy tons and tons of traffic. That's why I caution people when I do this. And I show people what happens when you do go through the process. And we're seeing now major hiccups. If you come over here to Leaderboard, you will see they have over 19,000 affiliates now. So a platform in just over a month has grown that big. There's going to be hiccups.
I mean, that's amazing, right? When did I put out that video? My first video about this, was it 3 or 4 days ago now? That was at 18,000. It's over 19,000 now. But you can see on this, if you zoom in, you can see there's some big earners here on the leaderboard. None of them have gotten paid. Not a single person.
There's going to be issues. They just need to be in communication because they need a PR person. That's what I'm thinking. So there are some negative things happening. I am going to wait throughout the weekend to see if they can get this fixed, if they communicate with us, and if people can start submitting verification. And then once verification happens, I want to see what happens after that. Do withdrawals happen? I don't care about dashboard screenshots and pending balances or even how traffic performs, because none of that actually matters until users can consistently make withdrawals. And that's the whole point of this case study, whether this ends up working out or not, because then we'll have historical archive for any other platform.
This is the only thing I will agree with this lady about. I want to see people get paid. I've already told Mike in the chat, back when there was still chat happening, and I've told him in email that once I get my first paycheck from him, I intended on probably buying about $300-400 in traffic from him, which is about half of the money I've made, roughly speaking, in the system, assuming it's even real money to start with. And I'm serious about that. Look, I would even upgrade. He's got all these. That's too much to talk about, but he's got all this upgrade stuff. I'd be willing to even upgrade. But first things first, we gotta get paid. You upgrade, you get a higher percentage of commissions, right? So, yeah. But like I said, this lady way too optimistic.
Platform that would decide they want to try something like this, there will be...
Understand basic things before they fail you. Try this addictive engineering game. Because most...
Platform that would decide they want to try something like this, there will be ways that people can find videos that would show red flags or would show like, hey, here's where things look good, but here's where people need to be cautious. That's why I do these videos and these case studies. But the reason I do this though is because, and why I'm constantly preaching, like, you have to build your own audience. You have to build your own email lists. You have to, learn how traffic works. And then,
by the way, I was going to talk about that. She's got an email list. I have a small email list. She must have thousands of people, right? Or a few hundred or something, right? Because the only way she could have had $21,000 is either she was buying traffic from this guy or emailing to her email list. I don't have an email list that's it's just a few hundred people big, but it doesn't even buy that great. And anyway, like, she's not okay. So in this process right here that we're doing right now, she's not even collecting leads from this. I know in the past video she had mentioned that no one's collecting leads currently because that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Not unless she's running Facebook ad traffic to this and she's controlling it. But if you're just buying traffic from this guy, you're not collecting leads from him. If that was the case, when I went and clicked my lead section on, I would have like 30 people there as leads from his email list. That's not how that works. So I don't know why she even brings that up.
You have to build assets you control. Because even if this does work out, it may not, one, work forever, but two, if it goes away, then you lose everything if you don't build your own assets, which is why I constantly preach that and why I try and show that on my channel. Like, build a real email list, build a real product or service that you can sell to people on your own brand.
I hate, guys, first thing, we're in AI now. I think this is all changing. I really do. But I've been off and on poking around online marketing for probably like 15, 20 years now. So long that I'm an old man now. Okay? I will tell you, making an email list, although she's not lying about any of that. She's telling you the truth. It is a complete pain in the ass. Maintaining email lists are expensive. Building them are expensive. Back in the old days, the shit that worked really good, like solo traffic, doesn't work anymore. It's all fake traffic. It's like bot traffic. I don't know, there's software that can detect it and shit. Way over my head. I'm not a computer nerd. But the main thing is just, it's a pain in the ass. Regardless if she's right or not. That stuff is just a pain in the ass. No one wants to build that. And I also think going into the future, like I said, with artificial intelligence, I think the game is going to be changing quite a bit on this. Because, like, you can already go to Google and you can go to ChatGPT even, but Google more than ChatGPT. You can already create, for example, landing pages and bridge pages with the AI. Prior to AI existing 2.5 years ago, you would have had to go to ClickFunnels or a company like ClickFunnels, and the only thing you were paying them money for was so that you could build a simple one-page website, bridge page, capture page. That's it. That's what you were paying them for. And that stuff was expensive. $200, $300, $400, $500 a month. This is why people don't make money, by the way. Because the stuff you needed, an autoresponder, get response, things like that, the capture page builder, plus then the money left over to run for traffic, was usually several hundreds of dollars. Very, very spendy to get into the door. Okay, let's let her talk a little more.
Those are what I talk about. So when I see business ops or things like this pop up, I can do case studies to see where the pitfalls are and then try and explain to people why this platform, even if it were to have worked or if it does still work, you don't own it. This isn't an asset to you. So that's why I'm just very adamant about people who want to build their own businesses. I
have to be honest with you guys. I love case studies and watching them. But most people I watch over the years do case studies. They were successful, right? They would put a Facebook advertisement campaign together, and then maybe make $10,000, $20,000 off of that kind of thing. If you're going to come on here and say things like, man, this is why I love doing case studies on a company like EzProfits, which is a scam, and the fact that you know she bought traffic, if she never actually gets paid from this guy, she lost like a few $100s in traffic or in money, or like real money, like dollar bills. You won't be doing too many case studies in the future if that's going to be how you do it every time.
Control every aspect of it. That's just kind of thinking strategically, not emotionally. So, like I said, I mean, I have email lists because I sell service-based offers. And so I have email lists that do that. That's totally unrelated to making money online, like in that niche is what I'm saying. I don't have lists for make money online. I don't do a lot of biz ops. Actually, I'm not in any biz ops. This is the closest to one. Is an affiliate program, but it's the closest to one that I've ever evaluated. I evaluated one a couple years ago, where I have a couple years of documentation on that. So, I mean, understanding how these things work, once you can identify like red flags or where there's good things, like you never unsee that stuff. So I hope people are learning from things like this, and then from the process I'm going through, so that you don't make the same mistake or, get involved in things that just don't end up working out. I think the majority of my leads, almost all of you, have stayed free or very little in traffic, which is good. I actually like that because, in the next couple of days, we're going to find out what happens. I will continue documenting this publicly. If we hear something, obviously that'll be in my next video update. If they fix it, if they don't fix it, that's what I will be able to show you guys. So right now, I'm just going to leave you with, right now I'm sitting where I could withdraw if I was able to be verified. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, this lady, and God bless her, if this all pans out okay, she's going to make a fortune. $21,000, guys. And I don't know on her end how she was invited to this. I know I was invited through my friend, but I ain't got anywhere near that. And my friend's got, I think, about 3,000, over 3,000 now. But 21,000 is a lot of money. And she's not even the highest earner on the leaderboard. I think the highest earner is like over $60,000. I don't know if any of these people are ever going to get their money. All I can tell you is that no one has gotten paid yet. And I'm not going to be overly bent out of shape because I myself only spent $50 on traffic. And for like a little over $700. But also, like I said, unless you hit me up in the comment box privately, I was never going to share this opportunity because it seems pretty damn scammy. And after the whole identification verification thing, that was like really scammy. I mean, you hit people up the day after people start asking for withdrawals. Oh, in order for you to get your money, you're going to have to give us an identity verification. That was pretty fucking scammy. So, yeah, big problem. And you hear it, she's got an email list. I figured she did. Have no idea what she does to make money. But yeah, So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. Well, I'll keep you informed, obviously, because I myself, for the rest of my money to clear is 6 days. And then I'll be able to hit the little magic green button. and I'll have the same problems happen, not get paid. Oh my God. All right, guys. Enjoy your day, Knuckle. By the way, I may come off as a jerk here. I'm not trying to put this lady down. I just think she's overly optimistic on something that clearly seems to be a complete scam. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye. Enjoy your holiday.